Hey guys, Max Tornado here. So I'm sure this screen looks a little bit chaotic. Understandable. Understandable. It's a lot of raid. There's a lot of things going on. So currently we have 5 accounts active on my PC. 3 of them are through Bluestacks over here on the left. And then we have my 2 regular player and play clients active here. And so the reason I'm starting with this video is going to focus on uh, the um, the tutorial process, or not tutorial, but the referral process for getting your accounts all the way up to 50. Right. So in the past, I've been talking about getting accounts up to level 10, so that way you can get Jamarsa and kind of go about your merry way, right? So we actually have someone in our clan who is helping me out. I'm going to help them out. And the goal is for me to get them an account at level 50. That is the goal, right? So I'm going to kind of document what that process looks like. I expect it to take about 35-ish to 40-ish days to get the account up to 50. At that point, they will get all of the sacred shards, and obviously they'll get Jamarsa along the way. Um, and then yeah, we'll see if we're gonna take the next 3 accounts and kind of go from there. But yeah, this is a process that you can do for your own referral accounts if you have the PC, right? You can imagine, BlueStacks is essentially an emulator, and we have to assign, a gig or 2 gigs of RAM to each one of these emulators. We also have to assign cores. So how many CPU cores are we going to assign? So if you don't have the PC to run 3, you can always do one at a time and just have your regular PC client and then one thing of BlueStacks going. The benefit of doing 3 at a time, though, is I'm going to go ahead and show you. Let me go ahead and press escape. So I have synced operations active on BlueStacks currently. So whenever I press escape for this top window, it's actually going to go ahead and escape for all of them. And what I'll do is I'm going to minimize these 2 PC clients. I'm going to go to BlueStacks Instance Manager here. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to settings, and I'm going to tell it that I want 2 instances per row. That's going to give us a little bit more. Oh, oh God, somehow I've unmuted something. Oh God, they've all unmuted. All at the same time. Terrifying. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click arrange now. There we go. So like I said, I have this top left window is essentially the leader of these other 2 windows, okay? So this is started up a tutorial, which is kind of annoying. Let's go ahead and push through all this. Okay, I don't even have to do that yet. Okay. So the goal is we're going to get all 3 of these accounts. Yep. Okay. The goal is we're going to get all 3 of these accounts synced, and we're going to kind of be running the campaign continuously synced up. And the reason we're going to hit campaign is because when you're trying to get your account level to 50, you're not worried about dragon, you're not worried about arena, you're not worried about clan boss. You are worried about campaign farming. Campaign gives you the most account experience, period. Okay. So our goal is to get our starter champion kill up to level 50 as quickly as possible. Then next step from that is going to be trying to get to either hard 12-6 or brutal 12-6 as quickly as possible. That can happen probably within a week or so. And yeah, we're just going to kind of grind 12-6 in the background as we do our other accounts. And my goal is to kind of document the time frame for when you should start probably seeing, when do you hit level 20, when do you hit level 30, when do you hit level 40, and then as we know, the grind really happens between 40 and 50. So yeah, that's kind of my goal. I'll also be answering questions, if you guys have them in the comments section. And yeah, I'm gonna do a dedicated video explaining how to download BlueStacks and install BlueStacks. Um, and I expect that will probably be like a 10 or 15 minute video separate to this. I just want to let you guys know that this is what I'm doing, and yeah, kind of show off BlueStacks, show off some of the features too, right? So like I said, we are currently in synced operations here. Whenever I click this little circle with the green dot in the middle, if I was to not be synced, it would look like this, and it would show these checkboxes unchecked. So I can go ahead and select all and start sync. So as you can see, what I do on the top left window, it does on all the windows. Now, BlueStacks is an Android emulator, so essentially it's as if I'm scrolling my finger, right? So everything that I'm doing on BlueStacks is as if I'm using a mobile phone. Um, so what we'll do is I've already used the promo codes. I've used the promo code DK Rises on all three. We can't get Ultimate Death Knight, which is, unfortunate, but we can at least claim those Force affinity pots and everything. And I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to just get these accounts synced. I picked all three starters as Kel. It doesn't necessarily matter who you pick. What matters is that probably you want to pick the same champion, just because there's differences in animation time. There's differences in uh, some of the damage that they might output with certain abilities, and so I just for preferences, I like to have them synced up as much as humanly possible. Um, Also, one thing that can kind of cut down on some of your time is if you have your settings on low, your graphic quality on low, and then also having your frame rate set to 60. A lot of people aren't aware of this, but if you have your frame rates low on 30, it'll actually add a lot of time to your different runs. So even as an in-game player or late game player, mid-game player, if you're playing on the PC client, you want to have your frame rate limit set to unlimited, and it is wild the difference that it makes. Um, so just have your frame rate set to unlimited. If you want to take the pressure off your graphics card, you can always set the settings low. But the frame rates does matter. So yeah. Let's see. As far as other great functions about BlueStacks, let's say for example we wanted to come into campaign, right? And say we wanted to farm. We'll just say stage 1 right here, right? Whenever I'm doing my level 10 accounts, just getting the accounts for friends to level 10, and then kind of, it's done after that. I'll just come to level 1, and I'll just farm this, 30 times, and then the account's level 10. So we can actually open up a macro. So right here with this little play button, we can create macros. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start here, okay? And we're going to create a repeat macro. I already have one here. Go ahead and just delete it. So that way we don't have it anymore. And yeah, whenever we get done clearing this, I'll show you how to create one. Super, super simple, intuitive kind of stuff. So I use macros for going in and doing 10 arenas, right? Like you just hit play, it starts at the top of the list, and then it goes its way down all the way. Do 10 arenas that way. You can do it for clicking next, right? That's one thing RSL Helper doesn't do is it doesn't click the next button. It'll obviously do tons of replaying for you, but if you're trying to focus on clearing campaign with, say, a couple champions, it won't do the next function, which is kind of odd. So we'll go ahead and record a next macro. So we're going to click on Open Macro Manager, and then we're going to click Record New Macro. We're going to click the Next button here, and then we're going to give it a couple seconds because you never know, there might be a little bit of latency between whatever. And then we're going to click Start. And then we're going to go ahead and end the macro here. Okay. And see, we have our newest macro right here. We're going to go ahead and name it. We're going to call it Next. Okay. Oh, you can't use quotations. Of course you can't. I'll just type it in caps then. What do you think about that, BlueStacks? Okay, so we've got next. Now I'm going to show you this. So once we clear this wave, Gale's doing his work, poisons and all that. Okay, so now when I click this next button, it's going to go ahead and run through that process of clicking next and then start, right? Which is great. What if I wanted it to do that multiple times and I didn't want to have to sit here and click next over and over, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to the settings function right here. I'm going to tell it to repeat. I'm going to tell it to repeat, how about infinitely until stopped. That. And so that'll just mean it's going to continue to do that until I come over to the computer and tell it to stop. We're going to tell it to do it. Let's see, this run was in 30 seconds. This one run was in 40 seconds. That run was in 32 seconds. So if we want to catch it often, how about we say every, how about we say every 50 seconds, just so that way we catch it, most likely catch it. Okay. Now, let's see. Want to click save, action. We have to set this back to one time. We have to set this infinite. I shouldn't have deleted that one. That's all it's given me an error for. And then we will click next. Okay, we can see that it's running up here, right? There we go. Okay. So it's going to continue to do that over and over every 50 seconds until I eventually come over and tell it like, hey, stop. So yeah, that's another really great feature about it. Um, you can actually upgrade artifacts faster as well. This used to be something that we had to use because RSL Helper wasn't available to do the increased speed for artifacts. So I'll show you that real quick too, because that can actually be really helpful for new players um, who don't want to download a RSL Helper, or if you're using Bluestacks for these alt accounts and you want to level up gear quickly, um, it's nice to be able to do that. So we cleared this in 38 seconds, 33 seconds. Looks like we have a few seconds left. Come on, Kale, get it done. Oh, Kale missed out. So, whenever I'm doing this, realistically, I would set it for like 1 minute. But the nice thing is it's going to continue to kind of do this. So since it missed this start right here, in about 40 seconds or so, it's going to click start. And yeah, they're not going to be in sync, but that we don't really care necessarily if they're 100% in sync. We care that it's continuing to just start the accounts over and over, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end the macro now. Pull up this macro screen. Let's go ahead and exit that. I'm going to show you guys the increased speed for gear enhancement. So it looks like this scale is going to die. The nice thing is too, whenever you're trying to level up your accounts, right? We just hit level 6 down here. The losses still count for experience for your account. So, no harm, no foul. Whenever I'm doing this, I like to click on this top right corner because it won't activate the chat, right? Especially all these pop-ups that happen. So you can click up in this top right corner and it'll just exit out of all those ads that pop up. Or, you can always hit the escape button and hit the escape button again. So I'm going to show you real quick if we wanted to go ahead and equip our speed boots. And this is where, obviously the gear screens aren't going to stay the same for long because, one account might get a shield and the other account might get a mystery shard, and then all of a sudden everything's thrown off, right? You can see that they're not the same already because this account's already gotten stage 7 beaten. So, but for right now it is. So if it wasn't though, you could click on this one at a time, right? Or you could go ahead and just click on the stop syncing. That would work. Or you could just pause sync, right? So if we click that little pause button that's up here, then we have to do it manually for each one, right? And then we could go ahead and resume, then equip. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to tell it to go to level 8. But before I do that, I'm going to go down to these little dots right here. And I'm going to tell it to turn on the eco mode. Okay, so once we turn on eco mode, I'm not sure if it turned it on for all 3. Okay, it doesn't look like it did. So that's one thing you'll have to do kind of individually. But check out how fast it goes. It just kind of churns it out really quick, right? Oh yeah, cool. Okay, so that is one other cool feature about our BlueStacks, and I think what we'll end up doing, because this kind of randomly keeps on turning on, no idea why, we're going to go ahead and go to our, you can see sometimes like you'll have one advertisement pop up here, not here, and then you'll have like one screen with an exit, whatever. You can just click on that top right corner, like I said. So we're actually going to go into the options, And we're going to just go ahead and turn the volume all the way down. Turn the volume all the way down. There we go. So now we don't have to worry if Bluestacks somehow unmutes itself. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be trying to record this. I'll probably post a video once every week or so, just kind of showing an update on how the account progressions are going, and then that gives you guys an opportunity to ask whatever questions you might have. I'll definitely do a install guide on how to install BlueStacks. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. And if there's anything I can do to help, just hit me up in Discord, and I'm happy to answer tons of questions there as well. Until next time, guys, take care.